Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
Okay, we are recording.
God.
We missed so much gold.
Yeah.
So much of it would have had to been bleeped and cut.
Yeah, doxed.
Yeah, but
Much of it would have had to be double entendre.
what define double entendre? Drew's offended by me this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. Well, you know, you've got your classic single entendre, right?
I think that's just words. Like, I think single entendre is not a thing because it's just
I'm the idiot,
the
right?
meaning of the word.
Yeah, and then so a double entendre is you got more than one of them. Why don't you tell you what? Why don't you tell me what a double entendre is, and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
It's a word with two meanings.
What?
Yeah.
Like a synonym? No. What's a synonym?
We actually might be stupid.
No. Synonym is when you have a word and then a different word, and they have similar meanings or the same exact meaning.
I love synonym buns with some icing on top.
That's a double entendre.
No, because it's not the same word.
Okay, give me a double entendre. In what context did this come? Oh, we were talking about rap songs.
We're talking about rap songs where
Yes.
rappers rhyme the word with the word.
And I was saying how much I don't like that.
Yeah, and I agreed with you, but I said
Unless
I will allow it if it's like a pretty clever double entendre.
Okay.
And then now I'm having trouble defining double entendre.
Yeah,
and
see, you were coming at me hot, and now you're the one that doesn't even know what it means.
Well, like, I know what it means in my head. I can't vocalize it, though. Like, I wouldn't be teaching English class, but I, like, know. Yeah, I am an idiot. Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
I'm coming to this realization on the podcast.
I'm coming at Dex pretty hard. He accused me of being a drunk driver at 10 a.m. this morning.
You parked like a drunk driver.
I parked poorly.
Yeah. And it didn't help that I was outside, because if I had been inside, nobody would have ever known that happened.
Anyone using the sidewalk would have, as they had to skirt around
street,
onto the driveway. Yeah, but no, it's been dry January.
Yeah, and now it's February.
Now it's fucked up Feb. Is that the thing?
I don't know. Again, I don't participate.
We
in
talked
any of
about
these.
that.
I do a steady.
You didn't need.
Actually, I got
break.
really drunk like a week and a half ago.
Yes, actually, I laughed at you. I laughed at your expense.
Yeah.
You double entendre the other night because we were talking, and I know this is true. You don't really drink ever.
No.
And rarely, and that was the conversation at golf the other night. And then your next sentence was like, "Man, I was boondoggled in Vancouver."
Well, you said on the last podcast, you're like, I can count on like 1 or 2 days a year where like Dex ties one on, and I was like, I did my first one on January 19th or whatever day that was.
So you extra Januaried. What's the opposite of dry January?
Alcoholism.
Regular. There's a double entendre. I was like, regular January. It's not a double entendre.
Yeah, I'm still trying to think of one because now I feel stupid that I can't think of a good double entendre.
It'll come up. Let it marinate. You'll get one way later in the episode, and we'll both be like, "Whoa, there it is. There's the punchline."
Hit the double entendre drop.
Play that double entendre jingle. Oh, please.
We got to think of one now so I can make a jingle.
Okay, so I want to hear your dust up. I've heard from the people, but I was speaking about my experience.
Yeah, sorry.
It's dry January.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did that go? Because I noticed that you were drinking a Bud Light last weekend.
Yeah, totally. I didn't do it. I accomplished drier January.
You accomplished like very unseasonably dry January.
Yeah. There was a rainstorm, on 1 or 2 weekends. We did really good. I think we made it. I think we did 3 weeks. That's even a funny narrative. Like we made it. It was like us. We just decided and then not decided. It wasn't a trial, but we weren't drinking, and it was really good and eating healthy. And we did it so well that like on a weekend we're like, what are we fucking doing? Honestly, it's my daughter's 3rd birthday. We are basically these pillars of health now. Like we're just
looking great.
We've changed our lives entirely. I'm not going to punish myself not have a 4% beer while my kid jumps on a bouncy castle.
Everything in moderation.
So that was it. And we actually did, like I said, we cleaned up our act really good. And it was like that classic where I'm like, you know, how'd it go? Did you notice a difference? And it's like, oh yeah, no, every metric in my life improved.
Everything got better.
Everything got
somehow.
better. Like, my face is less puffy. My job was easier to do. I was kinder to like my wife. I was like, uh-oh.
Can't have too much of this.
Can't have too much of this. No, I loved it. I loved not drinking. But then we did decide, we did go, hey, let's have a couple cans. So it was way better. And now I do feel like, as opposed to fucked up February, it's good to have the reminder, like the benefits. I feel like February is going to be a more tame month now because I enjoyed and saw how beneficial it was. So like, yeah, we're keeping it going. No drinks in the week, you know, shut it down Monday to Friday.
Moderation.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
So it's good. Achieved that.
You know what's funny?
Achieved balance.
And I don't hold it against anybody that doesn't make it all the way through January. I think obviously if you do well, then that's a success in its own, right? I was laughing though because I was playing soccer, and afterwards the guys were like, "You guys want to go upstairs for beers?" And I never want to go because it's always in Calgary, and I'm like, let's just add an hour to my night, and then I'll drive home. Like,
Yeah.
for a beer, like literally a beer, and then it's like,
And then over the drive, you don't get to keep that buzz at all. It just almost makes you feel worse. You're
Yeah, like-
well, now I'm tired. And
yeah,
worked
It's
against
like,
the physical
I'd
activity.
rather just drive absolutely shit faced. Anyway.
Done. You, sir, you read my mind.
But one guy on our team was like, "Oh no, I'm doing dry January," and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, good for you." And he's like, "Well, you know, until we go to Hawaii," and this was at the very beginning of January. He's like, "Until we go to Hawaii on the 20th." I was like, "So you're doing like dry 2.5 weeks?"
Yeah.
Like, you know, like that's not. Don't call it dry January. You're doing like a very short period of time.
Yeah, and
and you know, to announce it like that and be
that's the problem. And I think I'm a little guilty of that. You know, and it wasn't like I was advertising. I didn't make a fucking Facebook post about it. But
No.
you know, I'm constantly drinking cans. You know, I'm essentially like fucking Homer Simpson, Hank Hill. Like I just,
like, hell yeah,
you know,
hell yeah, brother.
hell yeah, brother, Julian from the Trailer Park Boys. It's common. People notice when I don't have a drink, right? So I feel like I was just like addressing it. People would be like, "Hey, you want a beer?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm doing dry January." You know, streamers, explosions, pyrotechnics. And then you don't do it, and you're like, "Oh fuck, I wish I hadn't like
told
talked
people about it.
talked about it at all." So that's the problem with it, is when you like make the announcement, you know, I'm going to change my life, which I'm apt to do. I'm, you know, very grandiose that way.
Well, yeah, you need people to hold you accountable. Here's the thing, though, is if you don't say it, I'm on the flip side of it, where you should tell people why. Because if I were to offer you a beer, and you're like, "Hey, actually, no, I'm not drinking right now," I would be like, "What's happened in your life? Like, are you like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Like, have you hit rock bottom? And like this,
Did you finally? You're just shaking your head like,
I'd be like, "Oh, like." We good? Like, do you need a sponsor? Like, you know,
hug?
like you need somebody to go to the meetings with you? I'd be like a little concerned that like, oh, it got that bad that like he's fully off. So it's nice to be like, oh, it's dry. It's a period in time, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna ease back in.
I do find that when you like, I'm a man of vices. I'm a man of many vices.
Me too.
And
Sometimes.
it, like, you know, if we're gonna put it as a fraction, right? At any point in my life, I'm like, maybe I'm drinking, maybe I'm smoking weed, maybe I'm gambling, maybe I'm chewing tobacco, maybe I'm doing the Nick pouches, right? And these are all like parts of a whole. And when you remove one, you know, for health or for a dry January stint, whatever it is, there's still like this, like a single hole, right?
A space needs to be filled.
Space needs to be filled. And I think Vice guys, and I don't know if you're like this, but I'm like this. It's almost like a compulsion where I'm like, well, I'm gonna chew way more, and maybe even subconsciously, like I'm not making a fucking graph.
It's just your body's like, hey,
Yeah.
we need substance.
Or like the second, or maybe the second weekend of not having drinks, find myself at Value Buds, and I'm like, give me those weed drinks, which is something I don't buy.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm like, well, I got to do something. Got to get fucked up somehow. Right. So I'm like, are we really moving the needle here? I guess that's where I'm going with it. You know?
I mean, okay, in all seriousness,
Because that's the thing I read about. Oh, it's not dry January, but then it's like, well, then it's fucking high January. Like you're
Yeah.
just replacing one with the other.
and not to be like Captain Stoner, because I'm absolutely not, but on a scale of harm, like alcohol has to be one of the like worst legal substances we have available to us that you can just go buy at a store.
Oh, if you and I've heard that before. If you like introduced it today,
Yeah, people would be like, "Oh, you've just introduced like it's like introducing crack."
yeah,
like,
here's this poison store. I got to go to the poison store.
go to the poison store. It's gonna like drastically increase your chances of getting various types of cancer and like all these other conditions. Like, yeah, it's alcohol is really bad, and that's not to say that cannabis is without its issues, but like on the harm spectrum, it is like not even close. It would be my argument in favor of you having those drinks instead of booze.
Yeah, and is it not even close because it is not even close, or is it not even close because we don't know enough about it?
I feel like it's not even close. Like I feel like we've had enough time to study it and like
They do. I have read, or I've been told, like in my job, like the human brain isn't like fully done. Its elasticity is forming until like I think women are around 25, men are around 27 years old. Like that's how long it takes you before you have like a genuine adult human brain. And that tracks for me. You say 27, I was like, oh yeah, no, I was probably like 29, 30, still working on it. But they say like using cannabis or like psychoactive substances prior to your brain fully forming can lead to like psychosis, fucking personality disorders, extreme anxiety. There is an element of that. And I'm not saying, it's not better than drinking, but I think maybe
it shouldn't
when
be
you're-
advertised as without harm.
yeah.
I think it's just lower on the spectrum.
And if it works for you.
Yeah, and also that's whenever I read those studies, I'm also like, okay, is this a correlation or causation kind of thing, right? Like, was somebody predisposed, whether due to genetics or underlying mental health conditions, were they predisposed to psychosis, and this just like
Exacerbated
opened that door,
Yeah.
or did it cause it? Like, I don't know if we'll ever know because the human brain is insanely hard to study. But anyway.
Man. And it's the human brain doing the studying? Like, whoa.
Oh, the human brain studying itself. This
Metaverse. We just bleeped out of existence.
So I heard somebody and they were like, or it was real or something, and this guy was like, he was obviously incredibly high. he was like, did you know like the human brain is like the only thing in the universe that is truly aware of its existence? Like it's its own organ. Like obviously the brain powers everything we do. He's like, it's aware of its own existence. Like if you were to look at a tree, is a tree aware of its own existence? And I was like, and people were like, oh, that's crazy. And I was like, how do you fucking know? Like a tree might be aware of its existence. I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? And he was just, have you asked a tree? Are we capable of
What
communicating
is
to a tree?
sentience, right? Who defines that? Well, it's all defined by the human brain.
And also, I
As
didn't
we
like
know.
how he said the human brain, because like a lot of animals are probably aware of their own existence.
Do you think so? Like dolphins?
Yeah, like dolphins are crazy smart. Octopus.
Oh, yeah.
They say an octopus is like as smart as a 5-year-old.
Man, we're doing a lot of they say.
People. We've
saying-
talked about it before. We need a fact checker.
Who's saying all this stuff?
People on
Who the
Instagram.
fuck is they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
okay,
anyway.
you had a good dry-ish January.
Yeah, no, it was good. And I did, like I said, I was eating good. Because I called my shot. I said, I'm gonna do better. And you gave your bike away. I'm looking at the empty space.
I didn't. My wife did.
You're
And then I was like, no.
Step, dude.
I was gonna use it.
So I have the exact same one, and I don't use it ever. And I don't know how. I could be remembering how this all shook out, but I was, not drinking, trying to exercise, get back on the wagon, living this healthy life, and it could have been something as simple as just mentioning, like, I'm gonna go ride the bike, and my mother-in-law is like, oh, like, you're gonna go ride the bike. That's not like you, or something to that effect, right?
It maybe like a little bit of like an underhanded like
Maybe not. Maybe she was just like making an observation. I was like, "Oh, fucking mother-in-law! Don't you say shit!"
She just made an observation about life, and you took it personally.
So I'll ride the bike. I'll ride the bike fucking every day, and that is kind of what happened. And I was like, "I'll ride the bike all the time. I'm fucking. It's nothing to me. It's nothing to me. I can go ride the bike." And then that turned into
I just choose not to.
I just choose not to. It's fucking stupid, you know? And then she was like, well, I ride the bike, and this is how far I ride. And then, of course, again, me being, like, obstinate and, like, you know, way too aggressive. I'm like, that's not a thing. No one's good at stationary biking. You know, that's like claiming to be, like, really good at fucking clapping your hands. It's like, it's not a skill. No one is good at spin biking, right? And that escalated into, like, you know, we should have a challenge. We should see who can bike further. And so she's home for 3 weeks right now, and we just picked like an arbitrary location, Saskatoon, 630 kilometers away. Who can bike that distance first? And it started out like pretty harmless, like, oh, I'm gonna do like 20K, I'm gonna do like an hour on the bike.
Yeah.
And just like immediately has ballooned into the most cutthroat competition. Since last Friday, I have ridden 365 kilometers.
You're
on
over
the spin
halfway
bike.
there.
It's crazy. My gooch is going to fall off. And it's mind-numbing and it sucks. And we're like in this competition. It's like literally every day I'm like, I biked 70K. And she'll be like, I biked 71. You know, we're doing that type of shit. But at the end of it, I'm like, I've dropped with the not drinking and with the biking and everything, I've dropped like 10 pounds in a month.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
And but it's not only crazy, but it's also
Like, obviously, too.
it's crazy obvious, and it also like speaks volumes to the life I was living. You know, like I'm doing like the least amount of low impact, sucky, lame exercise, and I'm just not housing cans, and my body's just like, whoa, yes, ooh. What is this vitality? And I was like, oh, yeah, no, that would have been pretty easy. Pretty easy life correction.
I always laugh about that sometimes. I'm like, man, it gets so hard to lose weight when you're older. And then it's like, you actually put in some effort and it's really not that hard.
Is it hard? Yeah.
In some ways.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Obviously, different people struggle differently. But like, also, I was kind of, you know, back in August, I was fat to a point that like, yeah, it's kind of not hard to lose weight when you're that fat. It's like, just eat a little less.
I think that's my benefit too. You know, my wife and I were talking about it, and she's like, "Oh, I've only lost like this much. It's crazy. You've lost 10 pounds." And I was like,
There's
well,
a bigger scale.
yeah, just percentage wise, I think I've actually I had a lot to lose.
Yeah.
You know, like fuck.
My wife and I have that conversation too. She's like, "You're losing a lot more weight than I am," and I'm like, "I also had significantly more weight to lose. Like as a percentage, we're actually probably pretty equal."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tomorrow I get my blood test. Ooh. Yeah, I got my blood requisition to go in and like see what kind of juice I can take.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. I was doing the intake though, like talking to the dude, and they're like, "Okay, do you smoke?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, do you like chew like nicotine? And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, do you drink? I'm like, "Oh yeah." Do you have a healthy diet? No. Are you overweight? Yeah. You know, and I'm just like checking all these. Do you have a history of heart attacks in your family? Yeah, both, 2 for 2. You know, like, is your blood pressure high? Yeah, stage 2 hypertension. And they're like, almost like to the point where the guy on the phone's like, "All right, we're gonna see if you're a good candidate for more drugs." They're gonna phone me back. I'm gonna go do the lab rec, and they'll be like, "Do you have an exercise bike at home?" Maybe just mix in some fiber.
Yeah, maybe. For me, it's been life-changing.
That's what I've been talking, not like about you, like not advertising it, but even to that person, I was saying my friend was referred and is on this new what would you call it, like a micro dose test?
Yeah, like it's only 50 milligrams a week, so 25 milligrams twice a week injection.
Yeah,
and it's like it's crazy. It's crazy what it's done. I mean, my muscle tone and definition and my recovery from the gym. Like yesterday, I went hard at the gym, like to the point where Alicia and I were laughing. I went to go lift Kaylee in the car, and I was ripping.
You threw her through the fucking
no.
ceiling.
I was ripping biceps and back, and so I went to go lift her into the car, and my biceps were just so hammered that I couldn't lift my child. Like I literally. Have you ever done this after a workout where you go to do like any type of movement and it's like you're already at failure? And I just put my hands underneath her armpits to lift her, and nothing happened, and I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, I was like going hard at the gym. I was like, I'm gonna be sore, and I wake up today, I feel great, and I was like, man, like without this, that wouldn't happen. And you got more energy, and it's just, it's fantastic. Everybody, you should start pin and test.
Like, so yeah, physically, but you also said, and I was interested in this. You also said that there was like mental reprieve, right? Like you have like more focus, and maybe that comes from like the more energy.
I think it's just the increased energy, and I feel like I have a better level of focus because I have more energy to dedicate to tasks. And you just feel better, and I feel like my sleep cycle's gotten better. Like I had the worst sleep hygiene. Like I would stay up so late. I'd stay up till 2 a.m., wake up at 7, be like, why am I tired all day? But I couldn't fall asleep before 2. Like it just wasn't a thing that. And now I'm like going to bed at like 10:30 with my wife. Like I would always make fun of her for going to sleep at 10:30. Now I'm like right there with her. But it's like, wow, obviously I've slept more, and I don't know, my circadian rhythm's like back in.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's
I wonder
a lot
if I'll
of things
sleep
in my
more
life.
because I'm like a sleep by 9 kind of guy. Like I will stay up late. I try to stay up late, but in the week, like I'm like, put the show on. Yeah, let's watch our special show, and then like I'm just fucking done. So if I'm gonna start going to bed at like 7:30, then maybe I don't know.
Maybe your sleep hygiene is already good enough that it's like mine. Obviously, it was like it's like, yeah, obviously I lost weight because I had so much to lose, right? And now it's like obviously I'm sleeping better because I slept like such shit previously. Yeah.
You are losing tons of weight. Even my dad, because he's one of the people I was talking to about this, he's like, yeah, Dex looks really good. And I was like, yeah, he's fucking cheating. Fuck him. He's not biking. Okay, he's not. He's not doing high January.
I've been ripping the gym hard though, like lifting weights.
You're a gym bro.
Yeah,
you're a gym shark.
Yeah, I do need to get more cardio in, but
what's the downside? Like, is your dick falling off? Are you hyper aggressive?
If anything, it works better.
Okay.
I haven't noted. Alicia will say, okay, I'm not aggressive.
Because I don't want to be like too pro steroids.
No. I wouldn't say I'm aggressive, but so when you start increasing testosterone in your body, it actually breaks down into estrogen. And your body also produces more estrogen.
Gay.
Yeah. Well, and so when I just got my refill and they asked me, they're like, oh, like, are you experiencing any of these like symptoms? Because your estrogen is a little elevated. Not like anything to be terribly concerned about, but something we're going to monitor. So they're like, are your nipples sore? And I was like, no, they're fine. Like, are you developing man breasts? I was like, no, I'm doing good. But then they were like, the last question was like, are you having any type of like mood swings, like female like mood swings? That's exactly what they said.
They said that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
And it was a female doctor, so I was like,
okay, then it's okay.
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't like a dude like, what are you being like, you some bitch?
You some big PMS?
No.
You little fruitcake?
She said that. She's like, mood swings, like, like sometimes how women can have, right? And I was like, something
like me. Like, are you like me? Are you,
Yeah. And I was like, no. And then I was like telling my wife this afterwards, and she's like, kind of.
Really?
And she didn't say like, oh, you're so like off the wall, but she's like, you have been like maybe a little shorter with some things, like not to the point where I'm yelling, but where I'm just like annoyed with shit.
Oh,
yeah. So
that wouldn't be good for me. I guess we'll see, because like
kids test you every day at school, and like you can't fly off the handle.
Yeah, and I'm pretty. But
if the female teachers can handle it,
oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, yeah, I work in a job where like you have to be patient. And I constantly exercise patience to the point where when I'm outside of work, I don't have patience. Because
you've tapped that well.
Yeah, it's actually like a great sadness sometimes as a teacher. You come home and you haven't seen your own kids, and like they're your kids, and you love them way more, infinitely more than any fucking kid you've ever taught,
Yeah.
But you get home and you're exhausted, mentally exhausted from like dealing with irrational entities all day, and your kids will do like one thing and you'll be like, that's enough, like I've had it to hit, and it's like, no,
yeah,
they didn't actually do anything. It's because this is the 75th time I've had to redirect a kid or like chastise a young person for doing something, and I'm like, oh, that's not fair to you. I have to rein that in. So, if I start fucking going full Schwarzenegger and I'm like less able to deal with that stuff, that would be a problem for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that becomes a problem at higher doses too. You know, this is like relatively low dose, and so yeah, I wouldn't say it's been a huge problem, and it's maybe something also that like I just need to adjust to. But yeah, I've been annoyed at times.
We're gonna have to get Alicia on the phone here.
Yeah, to clarify. I think that's a pretty honest assessment. I have been annoyed at times, but not like screaming and yelling at my family or anything. They're throwing shit around the house. I've been like, just fucking like, seriously, guys, like, you know, especially with my kids, like I came home the other day.
Okay, here we are. Yeah,
I came home the other
waiting.
day, and Kaylee had been home sick from day home, and so like, and Alicia was trying to work all day, and so like Kaylee has just torn apart the house, but it's like anything to like just keep her occupied while Alicia's working, right? But then I'm like walking around the corner, and there's just like chewed gum spit on the floor, and I was like, "Are you fucking like, Kaylee? Are you fucking serious? Like spitting gum on the floor?" But I just picked it up and threw it in the garbage. I was like,
We rip your shirt off.
No, I was like, we don't do that. Like, come on. But then I also know that she's 3, and I was like, do we spit gum on the floor? And she's like, I just fucking did.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, I do. Yeah. Like, you know, the reason is not there. So, no, it's been great though.
Okay.
I'm down like 30 pounds since I started this.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're honestly like I'm looking right now. Okay, I'm not seeing boobs.
No.
That'd be an issue for me.
There's a little bit, but like that what didn't happen because of testosterone. That happened because I'm fucking fat. Like
30 pounds.
Yeah.
That's an insane drop.
Yeah.
You're getting new bodied.
Pretty much, yeah. It's crazy, and it's crazy how much better your body feels all the time when you're not hulling around an extra 30 pounds. And honestly, probably till I'm a healthy weight, I probably still have another 30 pounds to go.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did even 10 pounds. We golfed the other day, and it was like so small, but I was able to have like just a little tiny bit more rotation in my follow through. And I was like, oh,
Something to this.
being fucking crazy fat makes it harder to swing a golf club.
Yeah.
And you
Unless
see-
you're like John Daly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also when he was at his best, he actually was kind of thin.
And we always you see, like, we all know that guy. We all know someone who is like so big or so physically hampered that they can't swing properly, and they have this like really awkward swing, and they have to golf different. They have to make it work. And it's like I wonder how that person would swing if they weren't trying to get around that fucking tractor tire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how about anything else? Like you said, you're feeling better, you know, golf, soccer, are you just like popping balls?
So like golf, and this could also be a product of just like practicing more through the winter, right? Having a sim in the garage, I end up playing more than I usually would. But like, I'm bombing the ball sometimes, like absolutely smashing drives, and getting better at it. Soccer, and so that's the thing where it has not helped. Like, it's helped me where I don't feel so sore afterwards, for sure. But I haven't been doing enough cardio, and so that's something I need to work in a little more. I've just basically only been doing weightlifting.
The steroids aren't getting into your heart.
Yeah, well, it's not like it's not helping you be any more physically fit in terms of cardio. So I do need to mix in some more cardio because I went and played soccer, and this was also a product of like we had no subs that day. Like, we play indoor soccer, and it's like hockey. You shift on the fly. You do like a minute and a half shift, sub out, right? And you're running fast. It's not like on the big field. It's on a boarded hockey arena, basically. And so it's very fast paced. You're running really fast, but we had no subs. We had like 3 subs, and one guy blew out his knee on like the first shift that he played. So we were down 2 subs for the entire team. And so there's a lot of like, you got to stay out for a 6-minute shift or something like that before somebody can give you a chance to just like catch a drink of water, catch a breath, and then get back out there for someone else. And so like by halftime, I was like sucking wind. I was like, and I like, anytime I got on the bench, I'm like sitting like with my head between my knees, like, don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up. Like, and I was like, oh yeah, like obviously I'm lighter and it's like easier to run. It's easier on my joints. And like, I feel like it's not such a like, you know, you're getting a freight train moving kind of process there. Like I feel like I move around a little easier, but my cardio ability is still where it was when I was 250 pounds.
And you're saying that like the recovery though like you get back from soccer next day, you're not as sore.
Yeah.
Everything's
Same
feeling
with the
good.
gym yesterday.
Yeah.
Like I could have told you yesterday when I again trying to lift Kaylee and like my arms just physically would not work. Like it was like there's nothing there. I was like I'm gonna hurt so bad tomorrow. Like this is gonna be unbelievable, and I feel great.
Do you remember in like elementary school, Big Rock, we would go to phys ed sometimes, miss ball, and it would be like the 6-minute run. That was
Yeah.
our class, and it was like that was devastating news. Like as a big kid, we were all big kids, and be like coming like we're doing the 6-minute run, and it's like no, like this is gonna be horrible,
Yeah.
and then like big picture, it's hilarious to think about now. That was like that was the worst gym class ever. We had to run for 6 minutes straight, and I was like, fuck, like kids are so unhealthy, and I think they're more unhealthy now. We need to get kids on steroids, like we do.
Yeah,
Do you know what the beep test is?
Yep.
Oh yeah, we did the beep test. We did the beep
test.
test in the fucking combine. So we do that. We do that in phys ed, and it's the new 6-minute run.
Yeah.
Kids hate it. Like
I hated it.
en masse, right? They come to class and they're like, we're doing the beep test today. And you have to be like very, very targeted with your instruction, being like, this isn't a race. We're not trying to label you. We're not trying to be like, who are the fast kids? Who are the good kids?
Yeah.
And who are the bad kids?
It's to place you in like a level of current ability.
It's a baseline diagnostic assessment that we use for you as the individual to say, reflection based, am I fit? Do I need to be more fit, or am I not fit? Like it's for you, and your goal is we'll do it in the fall and we'll do it in the spring, and over the course of the year, will your baseline diagnostic assessment, like, will you improve? And so whatever your number is, it doesn't matter if it's the worst number, if you're the lowest in the class. It's not like I said, not a label, not a competition. But then when we do it again throughout the course of the year, has that baseline moved? And so we have to really frame it as this individual activity. But there is a standardized, set of data that we use to base our results on to let these kids know, like, if you're fit, if you're not fit, whatever it is. And it's crazy because the beep test, I'm saying it's the new 6-minute run. It's already fucking 25, 30 years old. So the data that we use, these graphs that we use to draw comparisons, they're from like 98 kind of thing. And it gives you like what a normal student in that age range should be. And I think, and you can go and look this up. This is not like a rad dad fact check thing. If you're kind of like 4 to 6, you are below average. You are not a very fit individual. You stand to be more fit. If you're in that like 7 to 8, you are average, if not above average, and if you're like 9 or above, you are very fit, right? And we have to give these kids those targets. So you'd be like, this is what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
And then also in that data, it'll say like, if you're this number, this means, you're you're not doing so well, kind of thing. Anyway, I digress. So like 4 is like the bare minimum these kids should be scoring at this age.
Right.
And we do this test in school, 100 kids. And I'm not joking. We will have, it's just like any other assessment in math or science, where right now things are really bad in the province. We're doing these tests in phys ed, and we have the large majority of students are below the lowest score that you can get. like 50 kids in 100 kids are scoring 2.
Yeah.
And like it's not even on the data sheet. Kids will come up after, and I'll honestly have to lie to them to like, so I don't crush them. They'll be like, I got a 2.9. Am I average? And like you look at the scale, and it's like under that, it's like not a human person,
Yeah.
like a corpse. If you're in this level, you have never once ran before. And I have kids ducking out at 1. Like I swear to God, I have kids who will, it's a 20-meter shuttle run, and you have to do it over time. I'm just explaining for the audience. And like I'm getting kids who are running a total of 60 to 80 meters, 45 seconds of sustained effort. And they're like, can I go get my inhaler? Like it's nuts. Yeah. And then, like I said, kids, half the class fails. The other half just barely meeting what we would consider in 1998 an average student. And then like a handful, 5 or 6 kids in those groups, in those cohorts, are above average. And when you look at it big picture, what it tells you, like as a society, as a group of children, we are like biblically unfit.
Yeah.
Like it's this not good. This not good for you. This not good for our healthcare system, like as a society. So I don't know what the answer is. There's no value in it, or they don't see value in it. I think probably the most realistic thing is that we get all these kids on steroids. We get all these kids on fucking Manjaro.
Yeah.
And like that's gonna save the world.
Honestly. But like the other part of that is, I think, you know, I even think I'm sure I've talked about this. I used to be a high level athlete. But a big thing for me was when I was, you know, running a lot, playing soccer a lot in high school. I was actually like relatively skinny kid. Like for a while in high school, it was like
They're wearing girls' pants.
I was wearing women's jeans that my girlfriends couldn't fit into, like, you know, and but that was just a product of like I was playing soccer 6 days a week, and you know they always say you can't outrun your diet. It's like, well, you can if you are running 6 days a week, you can outrun.
I think as a
diet.
kid, you like yeah.
And so, you know, I built up a lot of terrible habits, and I always remember like we would have, you know, one practice a week that was only fitness training, and all it was like sprinting, push-ups, sit-ups. Like it was only cardiovascular fitness training. But nobody ever did the other side of that, which is the food you intake, right? And as we all know, that is probably the biggest determinant of your health and your weight, right?
Yes.
Is the food that you eat. You can go to the gym, lift as much weight as you want. You can still be fat as fuck, right? I'm living proof of that. So to me, I always kind of like, I don't want to say like have animosity about it, but I'm like, man, like how about we did, you know, cardio training once every 2 weeks, and then the other one was like health training. Like thinking about, hey, you're a high level high school athlete, potentially going to go play college or whatever, right? Here's how you need to fuel your body. Here's how you need to track your protein. Here's the foods you should be thinking about. Get some fiber in your diet. Meanwhile, I was like, you know, I'd take my $5 over to Little Caesars at lunchtime in high school and house a whole pizza, and I would not gain any weight. If anything, I was having trouble keeping weight on. And it was like, oh, well, that's normal. And then, of course, when you stop playing, it's like, that's going to catch up on you
The
very,
old
very
freshman
fast.
15. The old freshman 50.
Oh, yeah. The old freshman, probably like 75 eventually is what it worked into. Like,
I think about that with my kids. You know, you go through this era as a parent where your kids, you know, at first they eat everything. There's nothing's off the table, and you can, especially when you have young kids, you're like making good meals and like mushing up fucking veggies and buying shit that's organic, whatever. Like you're makes you feel good as a parent. And then they enter this phase where they're picky, and they don't eat as much healthy stuff, and then it turns into like, I just want you to eat.
yeah.
Like you just need calories. You just need energy. You're grumpy, right? I can tell you're freaking out. There's nothing in your tummy, and we got to get you food. And then it slides.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, instead of having these well-balanced meals prepared by mom and dad, I'm just like, please fucking eat something.
Yeah.
And that turns into craft dinner for every meal.
Kaylee currently like exists on Lunchables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my kids eat Lunchables, and they eat the fucking cheese. They'll at least eat the meat, which is like highly, highly fucking processed salt fucking meat-like product.
Yeah.
And then they'll eat the Kit Kat, and then they'll be like, hey, I finished my dinner. Can I have a treat? And like, you know, we've talked about being girl dads before. It's so hard. I just can't say no.
Yeah.
You know, every time I go to the fucking store, they get a Kinder Surprise or whatever it is. You know, when they say they want a treat, like they want to go find their Halloween candy or their fucking Christmas candy or their Easter candy, and they eat like shit. I'm facilitating that. They aren't the ones that are responsible for their diet at this age. It's me.
Yeah.
And I'm taking the easy road. And I was like, this is maybe fine right now because they are in this stage in life where they can outrun a bad diet. When I think of like, I watched
your kids at dance class yesterday. They're two of the most active kids I've ever seen. Right. And so
that's
it's like, yeah, they'll work it off.
And that's what we do. So I'm like, we never think of like reframing it like we have to fix these meals. When I'm thinking like, oh, these kids are eating poorly, sign them up for dance, sign them up for swimming, sign them up for soccer, and we do all these things. But I think we are doing them a disservice because they're going to develop these eating habits like we did. You know, I hope at 15 they don't discover fucking Big Bear and have the love affair that I had. You know, and then they're going to go through the exact same thing that we experienced as young adults, where it's like, oh, I don't know how to eat, and I don't care to eat well because I just like these fucking horrible things.
Yeah.
Like my buddy Ross and I, when we were kids and working at BP's, we had a ton of disposable income. You have no bills.
Yeah.
And what do you spend that money on? We clothes, video games, food.
Yep.
Like we were going to CPU. We'll have an 18-inch pizza. Go back to the house. Split that fucking pizza, play Halo, and then, what are we drinking? Bottles of Pinot Grigio, bottles of fucking rosé because it was cheap, or Big Bears that I traded after hours truck cleanings for at Ford because they couldn't pay me, so I'd get the salesman to go buy me fucking 40 ounces, and like I just constantly doing that. And then I remember going to college and like getting huge, same thing. I think in the like 10th grade, I was clocking in at like 160, and that's you're 15, you're small.
Yeah.
I was already like a bigger kid, but I wasn't a fat kid. I was never a fat kid. And then by like grade 11, I'm like, oh, I'm $180, $185. Grade 12, graduating, I'm 200 pounds. And, by 19, I remember at Neil's funeral, I didn't own dress clothes at that point in my life, and I had to go buy dress clothes. And I'd been living on my own in Fort Saskatchewan, feeding myself, and my dinners would be like, I'd go to the fucking IGA, buy a pre-made pizza, walk across to the liquor store and get like 6 honey brown ales. And that was my balanced meal. That was like my Wednesday dinner I'd make myself. Go home, mix up a fucking vat of barbecue ranch, house a pizza, drink 6 beers, and then pass out in my slobber. Like that was my regimen. And then I go to buy fucking dress pants for this funeral. I'm buying size 40, right? I was like, whoa. Even then, I was like, I don't know about that.
This is not sustainable.
My trajectory is like my 1,000-pound life. If I'm just going on like percentages, like, I'm going to be 400 pounds very, very soon. And now it's been and now we talk about it all the time. It's kind of a recurring theme in our podcast. It's been a lifelong battle.
Yeah.
And I have at times gotten like way down, like down to 2 again. You ever see those memes where like, I wish I weighed what I thought when I thought I was fat like 10 years ago. I wish I was that, like that'd kill to be that.
I think about me at my wedding, and I was like 200 pounds, and I was like disappointed because I had actually lost more than that. I was down to like 185. And then I was like, sweet, goal hit. And then like 2 months leading up to the wedding, I quickly put on like 15 pounds. I was mad at myself at my wedding. I was like, fucking can't believe I got back
Can't
up to
believe
200.
I'm 200 pounds.
And now I would choke a person with my bare hands to be 200 pounds.
Oh, if 200 pounds would be like my absolute cruiserweight. That'd be the fittest I could ever imagine myself. Yeah, even 220. If I was 220, I'd be like, hell yeah, like I look amazing. But that's just like, the scale of it. It just, things change.
Yeah,
people change, bodies change.
Yeah.
But we gotta do better for our kids. I definitely, and they're gonna hate it. They're gonna fucking be very unhappy.
Well, I will say, like, now that Kennedy's older and even she's studying some of this at school, right? Like they're talking about it. They're learning about like processed and non-processed foods right now. And so she'll be like, oh, is this processed? And I'm like, at the same time, I'm also like, that's kind of a buzzword too. Like fucking everything's processed in some way, shape or form, unless you're eating like a carrot. Right. But
but then it's GMO.
Yeah. But so like she's learning about that. And we have started, so like Kaylee will eat her garbage. And we've told Kennedy, like, please try this and eat it. And if you don't like it, then we won't make it for you again. And I found more often than not, she likes it. So like yesterday I've been making these salmon bowls. It's like rice, salmon with some veggies.
Is it the salmon from Costco?
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. Like the salmon fillets, but I marinate, I marinate it in soy sauce, garlic, honey, and salt and pepper. Like very simple. And then air fry it and throw it on this bowl. Anyway. It's got veggies in it and stuff. And the first time I made it, she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I like the smell of that." And I was like, "Well, can you just try it? Because it is coated in like honey and soy. It's like actually, it's like fish candy basically. Like, and salmon's not super fishy either." And so she ate it, and she was like, "Oh, you know what? I don't mind that." And then I made it last night, and she ate it without complaint, and it's no problem, right? And so she is getting to that age where she's like, her palate is expanding, and she's not so picky, because she was very picky for a while. But I think all kids go through that phase.
I think maybe that's at that angle too, like just exposure to different things. Because my kids, they have like this set amount of things that they like, and I've just told you it's unhealthy. You know, that the food that they're eating is unhealthy. And then if I try to introduce, you know, hey, you have to have a carrot, you have to have broccoli. They know what that is. They know they don't like it. But if maybe I frame it as like, oh, this is a new food. This is something you haven't tried, and sneak in some healthy options. Yeah.
I've been sneaking spinach into a lot of meals, because spinach, like, other than being green, doesn't taste like anything really.
Yeah.
Right. And so I get this frozen chopped spinach from Save-On, and I just like will dump a bunch of it if I'm like I make like lasagna soup and
Blend it into the KD.
yeah. Well, I haven't done that, but like if I'm making lasagna soup, I'll like mix in this spinach, and Kennedy was, and it's chopped, so it's very fine. And Kennedy was like, "What's this green stuff?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just a new spice." And she ate it, and she's like, "Oh, I like really loved that soup that you made." I was like, "You know what that green stuff was? It was spinach." And she's like, "What? I like spinach."
You motherfucker.
She was like, "What? I like spinach." And now she has no problem with it, right? And so it's like, it is kind of like a lie to your children and then reveal afterwards, like, "Hey, that food that you liked, it was something you said you didn't like."
Marin's to the point where she just identifies green on her plate. She's like,
No.
yeah, what is that? You know, even on pizza. We came here the other day. We had like a cheese pizza, and it had like a pesto sauce.
Yes.
And I'm like, pesto is just like fucking ground up cheese and basil. Like it fits what you would enjoy. And she's like, get this green shit off my shit. Get this green shit off my cheese.
Yeah.
You know, my cheese and bread is disgusting now because of whatever you've put on it. So yeah, we gotta fix that.
It'll come around, but I think, you know, also keeping them active, and I can appreciate for some parents it can be hard to get your kid in sports. Sports are not cheap. Signing them up for dance, not always cheap. Signing them up for soccer, like, actually soccer's not too bad, but like you get into like, you know, hockey for an example is like completely out of the realm of possibility for some families to pay for, right? Like, it's just, I was talking about this, I think with Aaron maybe the other day, and I was, because his kids are playing hockey, and I was like, it's good for you, and you know, like, but the cost of it, we were talking about the cost of it and the time commitment, and he's coaching and stuff like that, right? And I was like, man, like, this is going to be a sport that is only played by like the rich elites in a few years, if it's not already.
It already is. And it's this thing where, like, you know, your kids are growing. There's a huge safety component. And so they always have to have helmets that fit. They always have to have shoulder pads, knee pads, pants that fit. So they're constantly moving out of equipment into new equipment. Equipment is super expensive. There's a lot of culture around it. Kids identify from a really early age what is good stuff, what is bad stuff.
Who got the cheap stick at Canadian Tire? Who got the nice one from, you know, wherever? Source.
Always a thing. So you dump money into it. And then as you get better and you play more hockey and you get more competitive, ice time becomes a premium. The amount that you're practicing becomes a premium. You're starting to wear more like branded merch for your team. You're signing up for more tournaments. So as a parent, the costs soar. It gets so expensive. And then not only are you paying this insane amount of money, but you get to a point, especially if you're playing competitive hockey, where you can't really do anything else. You know, you're not able to go on ski trips. A lot of teams actually make kids sign contracts. They're like, you're not going snowboarding because if you get injured, we've saved a spot for you on this roster.
Yep.
That's not okay. So like you've basically specialized. You're not even a fucking adult, and you've specialized in a sport. It's a massive time commitment for parents. You're driving all over the place to play these fucking games. It's every weekend. Like I said, ice times. I remember being a kid, and it's worse now. But OMHA is like the minor hockey association. But if you played for the athletic association, which was like AA, AAA, you got the dog's breakfast when it came to Okotoks ice time, which I think is good. You know, they want to reserve those premium ice times for just like kids in the community who are trying to stay active. So you end up practicing fucking Stavely at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday kind of thing. And it's this huge fucking ask of the kid. It's this huge ask of the parents, both in terms of time, in terms of money. And then it's this sport that the moment you are done playing hockey as a kid, you age out. And if you don't go to junior, you immediately are relegated to the beer leagues.
Yeah.
And then that's awful because that's the dregs. And you're playing now 11 o'clock on a Sunday in fucking Black Diamond. People aren't showing up. And you end up, what ends up happening is you end up stop playing hockey. So this skill that you've developed for your entire childhood is a complete barrier to physical activity because you can't just organize 10 guys to go play a pickup game.
Yeah.
And I mean, people do.
And hockey is like an incredibly specialized sport too, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like there's very few other sports where it's like you need to skate. Like most sports are like you need to run.
Yeah.
And if you want to go play a pickup game of basketball, you might not be good, but anybody can do that.
It's accessible.
Yeah.
And so you end up, what the large majority of kids, it's not a lifelong activity. You stop participating. I played hockey my whole life. I haven't put skates on like to play hockey in probably 8 years.
Yeah.
And I would never. I'm like, fuck that. So it's just gone. And then that's not even touching on the fact that like kids these days, the culture of hockey is like crazy toxic. It's really, it's super exclusive. They're all little dickheads. Honestly, I don't care. Hockey kids are the worst fucking kids in my school. I just can't stand them. Like, they're the worst. Oh, the same fucking haircut. They all talk the same. It's the worst. It's the worst club ever. So I just like all across the board. I hate it. I don't want my kids anywhere near it.
Yeah.
And that's too bad. It's too bad. There's other things out there.
But it is a shame because it's like a huge part of our culture in Canada.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to play, and we put these athletes on a pedestal but it's also like, even if kid was like, I really want to commit to this sport and I want to be healthy and I want to try and achieve the highest echelons of what this sport has to offer, something as simple as money. Well, I shouldn't say as simple. Money can be very complex, but money can be the barrier to them wanting to do that. Nothing else. It couldn't be like the opportunity to play. It couldn't be the opportunity to physical opportunity. All of that kind of stuff. It's just literally, sorry, mom and dad can't afford that, right? Yeah. And that stops them. And then if that's what they wanted to do, and it's like, sorry, we can't afford that, and then they're downtrodden, and they're like, well, I don't want to play soccer, I don't want to play basketball, I don't want to play football, whatever. Then yeah, they turn into kids that can't get past level 1 in the beep test.
Yeah. And then as adults, they have no way to just easily, accessibly participate in physical activity. We talk about this like concept of lifelong participation. It's individual sports, man. You teach a kid to play golf at a young age. You teach a kid to curl. You teach them, get them involved in something like pickleball. And I know, super lame, but they're going to be able to take that and they will be able to do it forever.
Yeah.
Barring serious injury, ailment, all that sort of thing. But it's something I think about a lot with my kids is like, what are you doing now and how is it going to benefit you in the future? And will it be a benefit to you or will it be a barrier?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking kids, man.
I feel
Lots
like
to think
we've had
about.
a very deep conversation about sports.
Well, sports and kids.
Yeah.
The lens of our children.
Yeah.
How do you think that when we separate from Canada, how do you think Team Alberta is going to do at the Olympics?
Pretty poorly. Pretty poorly. Although there are some great players from Alberta. It's like, well, have you ever seen like those people that put together like Team Ontario? Like if Alberta or if Canada were to send individual provinces, and it's like, oh, Team Ontario is like contending for gold.
Yeah.
Like, you think about all the great players out of Ontario, and it's like, BC's got some good ones, and like there's good names from every province, but it's like, yeah, obviously Ontario is gonna like rip it up. I'm trying to think, like Alberta, we got Cale Makar,
the Sutters,
yeah, the Sutter brothers,
Messier. Current players from Alberta? I'm sure there's more.
There's got to be more, but yeah, there's not like Cale Makar is the only huge name I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but anyway, I could rattle off 10 from Ontario right now,
And maybe that's just population. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely an element of population for sure. But, yeah. Anyway, when we separate, yeah, won't be any gold medals coming back to Alberta.
Man, my mom was at the gym the other day and a lady approached her just like unsolicited and was like, "Hey, did you get over and sign the petition?" And my mom's like, she's very oblivious, and I think almost like it's good, it's good that she doesn't pay attention to things, because right now paying attention to stuff is just fucking awful.
Yeah.
The world is
It's a bummer.
It's in dire straits. So she's just like, happy go lucky, doesn't pay attention to it. And this lady's like, did you go sign the petition? My mom's like, what petition? What are you talking about? She's like, the petition to get the hell out of this country. And my mom's like, oh, no, I'm not interested in that. And this lady was like appalled, like sickened with my mom. And I was like, that happened in public? Like, go shoot your ivermectin in the fucking change room and fuck off.
You know what's so funny is because, we create our own bubbles on social media. And I like to think that I have a fairly wide bubble and I experience a lot of different opinions and news stories and stuff like that. But realistically, it probably is relatively concentrated to my own interests. But I also live in Alberta, so I feel like I'm exposed to interests and opinions that don't necessarily align with mine. I think some of these people are so deep in that bubble that they cannot fathom that this is not like a massive want for everybody in the province.
Because they're so insulated. Everything that they see.
The people they talk to, the social media that they engage with, they see the pictures of the people lined up, and I was like, well, that's 100 people. There are 5 million people in Alberta. Yeah, that's an impressive line, but I've stood lines like that to buy the new Call of Duty. So what are we fucking talking about? We're talking about 100 people. Well, you will probably get enough for the petition to be put on the ballot, but I think recent reporting said something like 30% of Albertans actually support separation.
30%?
Yeah, which is kind of weirdly high.
That seems really high.
I think it's 30%. It was roughly 30% or just under. But then you split that, and there's two different camps within that. So there's the morons.
Yes.
There's the morons that are like, well, we want to join the U.S. And then there's the even dumber morons that think Alberta could exist as its own country.
Sovereign nation within a sovereign nation.
Which is absolutely not going to happen. Would never work. I wish they could have an intellectually honest conversation about this and say, well, this is a petition to join the United States. Ultimately is what it is. Because if we leave Canada, that's kind of the only option. Unless you want to be a landlocked country, very resource driven, that needs to get its product to shore.
Across the country that they just left.
Yeah. Or through the country that's now licking its chops to take you over.
Yeah.
Those are the two options. And so to say this is anything other than eventually joining the United States is completely disingenuous. And anybody that thinks Alberta could possibly exist as its own country is the dumbest of the dumb. I'm sorry. And if you're one of those people listening, read a book. I don't know what to tell you. Think with your brain for 2 seconds.
Well, and it's crazy. I think also in this era too, we're being pretty dismissive and reductive to those arguments, and it's because they're idiotic. They are. They're anti-intellectual, and they're half baked. And you are stupid. But that being said, that's how they view us.
Oh yeah, they're like, why would you want to stay in this communist country?
Yeah, you fucking carny lover, woker jokers. That's how they view us. That's the conversation. Is that there is no conversation. They would accuse us of the very same thing as being insulated, libtards that are just living in our world where we've kind of boxed them out and don't listen to them. Because their ideas are too good, and so just no one's engaging, no one's actually having meaningful engagement, and solving any of these issues. And my brother said this the other day, and he's like, and that in itself is inherently problematic, because this isn't this issue we should be talking about. All this stuff, all these petitions, all these recalls, there's other stuff that needs our attention. We've talked about it so many times, our public healthcare, our public education. These institutions are crumbling, if not completely, irreparably damaged. And we're sitting here talking about fucking separation.
Yeah.
What the fuck, guys? Can't we table this? Can't we just agree that we're not going to agree and then get some other things that need our immediate attention accomplished? Yeah. It's so fucking insane.
And you know what's crazy to me?
And expensive. We're spending money.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to talk about money. Everyone wants to talk about the cost of living and this and that. And it's well, this isn't free. You know, this whole conversation,
putting
you
this
guys-
on the ballot,
putting
is
this
going
on
to
the
cost
ballot
millions of dollars.
for what? And when you say 30%, like I honestly, I can't even believe that. Like we're gonna go through all this. It's in the media. We're gonna talk about it. It's gonna end up being a referendum. We're gonna vote on it, and they're gonna get crushed. They are.
Yeah.
The zero possibility. This isn't like a Donald Trump 2016 situation where we're like there's no way, and then we're all surprised. It's not gonna happen. It's going to immediately get wiped. And it's going to be like, thank God we spent all that fucking time and money entertaining this. Thank God Danielle Smith and the UCP pandered to you guys so we could not talk about any real issues, accomplish anything. And now it's just a fucking footnote in like Alberta's ridiculously stupid history. What an embarrassing fucking province we are.
And you know what's funny is like, and it's almost like ironic in a way, that if they had been doing a really good job of governing, like if they had actually come in and like improved healthcare and improved education and made it so like, hey, we're running this province really great, and like we're outpacing, you know, other provinces in terms of our metrics in these areas, and life is better in Alberta for these reasons. We should separate. They would like actually maybe have more genuine interest in that topic, because it'd be like, yeah, we are doing better here on our own than the rest of the country. But it's like, actually, everything here by metric is kind of worse than most provinces. And it's like, I don't want to separate and like lose this lifeline of Canada, the rest of the country, to, you know, at least if shit really goes bad in Alberta and we're still part of Canada, I can just bail to BC or something. You know, it's like that option would be taken away from you. Yeah. So it's kind of funny that if they're doing a good job, separation would probably be more popular.
And what are the issues? What are the things that these people, you know, you hear again, to go back to buzzwords, people are like, well, fucking transfer payments, you know, billions of dollars in equalization. I was like,
which is quite hilarious, because the transfer payment figures were created by the Conservative government last time they were in.
So
that was under the Harper government. Like that, the current transfer payment structure was done under the Harper government.
And you don't think there's a degree of reciprocity? You don't think that we receive things?
Oh, and Alberta absolutely has been a have-not province in the past.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go back to the 80s, and Alberta was soaking up transfer payments.
And we're gonna leave that mixed economy safety net.
Yeah.
Where, you know, like Canada is no longer going to be able to help us.
Oh, we're gonna be a petro state.
Yeah.
And but not like a Saudi petro state where like you know it's gonna we have very like bitumen is not easy to process, and it costs a lot of money, and it's like the lowest margin oil that you can possibly find, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna go all in on that, basically is what's gonna happen, right? And yeah, it doesn't make sense. And then people are talking like, oh, they're gonna get rid of income tax. Like they're kind of fantasizing about this Texas.
It
or
is
Florida.
a fantasy. They think this money's going to come back and it's going to come to them.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's going to go into the pockets of the fucking corporate overlords. Like nothing's going to change.
And
you
shit
won't
still
be
has to
better.
get paid for.
Shit
Like,
still has to get paid for.
People talk about Texas. They're like, oh, there's no income tax in Texas. I'm like, have you seen property taxes in Texas? It's insane. That's how they get the money. The government gets the money somehow to pay for shit. And so, yeah, Texas has said you don't have to pay taxes on your income, which looks great on your pay stub. Looks fantastic on your pay stub, but when your property tax bill comes due for your $400,000 McMansion, that you're like, oh, this was fantastic. I saw it on Instagram. It's a beautiful house. It only costs $400,000, but your property taxes are, you know, $50,000 a year, which I'm just made up that number, but it is insanely high in Texas. It's like, well, yeah, obviously the government had to pay for roads and shit and figure this out, and they didn't charge you income tax, so they had to claw it back somewhere else. And Florida does the same thing. Nevada does the same thing, right? Like they figure out ways to get that money. No matter
they're just calling it something else.
Yeah. So people are like, oh, no income tax. I'm like, well, it's not like you get as an effective measure, you're going to be paying the same or if not more in taxes. One of the people say California is a crazy high tax state, and it is. Income tax in California is quite high, but all other taxes in California are comparably low. And actually, California is very middle of the road in the United States when it comes to total tax burden per citizen. But people are like, oh, it's so high tax because it's all income tax. They're like, oh, I've got less of my money. But it's like, yeah, you don't have to lay out as much money for your property taxes. You don't have to lay out as much money for your school taxes and that kind of stuff, right? It's like, do you want to shift it to a user fee model? Fine, we can have that conversation for sure. And we are in control of a lot of our own tax rates in Alberta. We could get rid of the provincial income tax if we wanted to tomorrow. But we don't, because they have to pay for shit, and they don't want to turn around and tell you the real truth is that if we get rid of your 10, 11, 12% income tax, which is already the lowest in Canada, if we get rid of that, well, we have to make up the money somewhere, or we have to cut services, and that's another conversation that nobody wants to have.
And then it has affordability change? No, not at all.
No.
And I get it. Like, people are unhappy. They're looking for answers. You right? Like that's the issue. Bottom line is people can't afford to do anything, and they have less money.
Yeah.
But it's fantastical. The solution's not separating.
Yeah, and to think that your affordability is the result of, like, I mean, honestly, we love Canada, but Canada is like a relatively minor power in the grand scheme of the world, right? And we think about the affordability issues that have happened over the last few years. I mean, it is a huge result of COVID and the global inflation that came as a result of that, as a result of stimulus spending to save economies, right? And that was not a Canada only thing, right? And unfortunately, we rely on the United States and Mexico to get a lot of our produce in the middle of the fucking winter, right? And so, yeah, of course, we're going to experience inflation probably worse than those countries. It's like, well, it's not the fault of the government. And becoming a smaller country with less bargaining power on the world stage only exacerbates that problem. It does not solve it. And yeah, that's where I'm like, none of this makes any fucking sense to me. And the fact that we're even entertaining this is like mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's all ridiculous. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Fuck you, separatists.
Hopefully we've put that to bed. Yeah, and then it's like, to be watching what's happening in the United States right now and think, gosh, I want to be a part of that. Like, it's just also brain dead behavior. Like, to think that, regardless of what side you're on, to think that watching in Minnesota, for example, like what was effectively 2 extrajudicial killings of American civilians, to be like, yeah, we need riots in our streets,
more
just like that.
We need
like,
less immigration.
Yeah, like we
Get 'em.
need a lot of people just like fighting each other in the street and getting murdered by ICE agents dressed up as
high school dropouts.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's crazy to think that like we want that. That's what I want at the end of the day. That's I can't wrap my head around that. To even just watch that and think that's a good thing in any way, shape, or form, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, makes no sense.
How do we get here? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram?
I think there's an element of that. I think, again, we talked about the bubbles. You get into this bubble, and everybody is entitled to their own opinions and worldview, I think. And it's fine to think that maybe there's a problem with immigration, right? But then it's like, okay, so can we handle this and have a discussion? And they have changed policies as a result of this, right? Like, they've lowered the immigration targets in Canada. But do we also want do we want to go full ICE style, door-to-door, no warrant raids, picking up kids walking home from school, like that kind of shit? Terrifying. Like, yeah, it's like, no, I think we can enforce the rule of law with some level of decency and humanity, right? Like, we can meet in the middle. It doesn't have to be this extreme thing. And then, yeah, but people get into their bubbles and all of a sudden your thing of the day, whether it's immigration or, I saw the Conservatives were having their conference in Calgary, and they implemented some new policy platforms, and like one of them was like, we need a stand your ground law in Canada. And it's like, what? Yeah. And it's like, well, we already kind of do, like, you are allowed to use reasonable force, and if that involves killing someone who's entered your home, as long as that is a reasonable amount of force, if they were threatening your life or your family's life, you are absolved of that crime. You're not a murderer in that sense, right? Like, but to say, well, we need a stand your ground law, like, you've got guys in the United States, some like a door-to-door salesperson comes to their door and they're like, I felt threatened for 2 seconds, so I fucking blasted them through the door. Like, that's like, we is that what we want? And it also, again, to bring it back to what you were talking about, what your brother was saying, is that the issue that we really need to like sort out right now? Like of all the things,
Is that pressing?
Is all the things on the plate right now? Is the stand your ground law the one that just fixes everything?
That's what's keeping you up at night.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's like
it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming to even discuss. But I also like having these discussions. It gives me this feeling of like how man, and I think it's with everything. We've all felt this, but like how do I see this and interpret it? And it's so ghastly to me. It's so asinine.
Yeah.
You know, how can I feel this way about it? And then my next door neighbor, it just this polarization, this total, entirely different take on the exact same issues, which I'm saying are not issues. Like it's just a really weird space to be in.
Yeah, it's a polarization exacerbated by social media, and I hate to be dismissive or sound rude or anything, but I mean, statistically, your level of education has a direct bearing on your opinions on certain issues.
Good thing we're letting it go down the tube. Good
Well,
thing we're getting
like,
rid of it.
You know, and you know, people that achieve higher education tend to vote a certain way on certain issues. And I'm not saying that necessarily makes it right or wrong. I don't want to dismiss anybody's level of education because there's a lot of different ways to be smart in this world. But that is an element of it too. Yeah, and then like to make it funny,
yeah.
I don't know if you saw the video yesterday.
Let's get a capstone on this. Let's move on to some cheerier shit.
I don't know if you saw the video yesterday, but like Donald Trump straight up shit his pants during a press conference. Did you see that video?
I saw the clip of the girl, the woman
rubbing her nose
behind, being like,
but did you hear the fart? If you turn up the volume on that video, you can
Shut
hear
up.
the fart. Yeah.
"Come on, is that an AI deepfake?"
No. It was on Forbes. It was just from their reporter that was videoing in there. It was on Forbes, and if you turn up the volume high enough, it's roughly around, I think, 30 seconds into the video, you can hear this very clear fart while Trump is talking. And then you can kind of see their faces behind him as like it hits them what's happened. And then she starts rubbing her nose, like looking off the camera, doing that, like frantically rubbing her nose. And he's like, and that's the end of the press conference. And they fucking usher everybody out in seconds. There's no follow-up questions to his statements. There's nothing. And I was like, man, like that's the person that people have elevated to like God Emperor. Like they're like, oh yeah, make America great again. Like God Emperor Trump. I was like, he's fucking shitting his pants. Like he's literally shitting his pants. And we're just like, that's the guy. And he's like, oh God. And I honestly, like there's this guy on Instagram who he works with dementia patients. And he's estimating Trump has 3 months or less to live.
What?
Oh yeah, he's looking at the bruise on his hands. He's like, they're pumping him full of blood thinners. He's like, he's very clearly experiencing sundowning because he's fallen asleep in a couple of those meetings. But he's up at 3 a.m. tweeting. Like his circadian rhythm is fucked up quite clearly, and he's fully shitting his pants in press conferences. Like he gives me hope.
Okay, all right. This came up the other day. You know, with some of these high-profile political deaths that have been occurring in the ethos, you know, and in the current societal state that we find ourselves, you know, you can't make these jokes. You can't say anything.
You can't make fun of it after the fact. And I get that to a degree, right? Like a lot of people,
regardless of how hilarious it is.
Yeah, like a lot of people
how
were
good your
basically
material
dancing
is
on Charlie Kirk's grave, and it was like, oh, like yeah, he was kind of a bigoted piece of shit. But
that's
like,
the one I'm thinking of,
yeah,
right? And it's like, no, that immediately became a thing.
Yeah.
Like, no, we can't celebrate that. Can't make jokes about it.
I think it is in poor taste to do that, by the way.
Well, no, of course, right? And I'm not advocating for that, but I guess the angle I was trying to work here is now that we're in a pre-death situation,
I think get them in while you can.
get the Donald Trump dying jokes out.
Yeah.
Do you have what was the
So
one?
I texted you and I was like, yay or nay on this, and you're
Yeah.
always a yay. So I was doing stand up last night, and I was like, do I work this into my set or not? And the joke was going to be how we can't talk about those things like after somebody's died. You know, it feels like you're dancing on someone's grave, and it's in poor taste to do that after Charlie Kirk and blah 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 blah. And you know, there's a comedian that did a joke about Renee Good that got shot in Minnesota and had his shows canceled, right?
Eesh.
Which is like, that's also like, that feels like punching down. It's not like she was a famous person. You're just making fun of a lady that fucking got shot. Anyway, so my joke was going to be, I need to get out all my Trump dying jokes before it becomes taboo. But like I was making them like ridiculous. So, and the joke was, I obviously don't know how it's going to happen. So I have all these different jokes.
He's going to shit himself to death.
That's probably how it will actually happen. But I had all these jokes for different scenarios. So I was going to be like, rest in peace, Donald Trump. It was shocking to find out someone that fat died of AIDS. Like, and so like
more.
Another one was like, oh God, I just coughed so hard. Another one was like, Donald Trump, rest in peace. May you be remembered for your contributions to society instead of the sickening thud your body made when the parachute didn't open. Oh. Like, so like, obviously that's ridiculous because Donald Trump is probably not skydiving. Or if he is, it's just a trail of doo-doo following him and like spraying everybody
doo-doo parachute from Air Force One. Now we're back on track. Now we're telling the jokes we came for.
I got to think of a few more. But then, so I didn't do that joke last night.
Well, because I said, and I'm glad you ran it by me, but like we
live in our own bubble, admittedly.
We live in our own bubble.
And we think that's funny.
But it's like there are people, and I think what exactly I said to you was you and I would laugh at that. But at this particular locale, you're in Gen Pop.
Yeah. I'm in rural Alberta.
You're in
telling
rural
jokes
Alberta telling
about
jokes.
God Emperor Trump dying of AIDS.
And, like it's the amount of people over the years that I've been close with, whether they're colleagues or friends or acquaintances, and you kind of keep them on Instagram to just do the old like what's going on in their life, and they're radical. Like I have a lot of people. I have a former employer of mine that is like consistently 20 to 30 posts on their story pro ICE, defending ICE. And I'm like, this is nuts. And I
now, do you think they genuinely believe that, or do you think they're like trolling? Because some of these people, I'm like, I feel like you're trolling. Like, I feel like you can't possibly be that dedicated to immigration enforcement agency in another country.
I don't think so. I would put it, I don't think it's a troll. The genuine sense that I get is like, you're in this bubble, you're angry about whatever it is, and this is your outlet, and you just want to be heard and have your opinions validated, and it's controversial and it's going against the grain. I don't have a lot of people that are posting these things that I think they're just doing what we do, like talking about it, to be funny. Like that's not the impression I get, right? But it's crazy. It's crazy to me to see it and be like, wow, they're really out there. These people really exist. So I digress. These people are going to your comedy show. Yeah. They're there. Yeah. And everyone right now, like, comedy is this great equalizer in a lot of sense, but it's tricky. It's a tightrope. And so if you go into the loony bin and you tell a joke that you and I find hilarious, the people that are listening are not you and I. Yeah. And at this stage in your career, like, even as burgeoning as the stand-up has been, you have to be mindful of that. You have to know your audience.
You start an uproar at Hubtown, and they'll be like, we don't want decks coming out anymore. We're trying to sell beer. Like, that's the ultimate.
Yeah, you're trying to sell beer.
We're trying to sell beer, and comedy is the draw to try and sell some beer. But like, if your comedians are going to be upsetting people, and we're getting bad reviews or angry emails, then we would prefer not to have that comedian. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. And I agreed with that. I was like, you know what? That's probably a good point. So I didn't do it.
But how did you sent it to me. I was like the biggest piece of shit husband and father this weekend. And so, and here I am at your house on Sunday.
It's okay. My wife left with the kids. She's like, you're not coming? I was like, Drew's coming over.
I was gone. I got up at 5 a.m. yesterday and I fished until 9 o'clock. and then came home. And last night was supposed to be like our date night. We're supposed to be like,
You came home smelling like a trout.
and then passed out. My wife's like, this is my life now. This guy biked 365K, didn't talk to me all week. I worked night shift. And then our one single weekend day that we had together, he left me to go chase bull trout, which is, I don't have a lot of regrets, but I do have a little bit of making up to do. I got some foot rubs in my future. And then now I'm here. So I was just this big piece of shit dad, not doing good stuff. So anyway, when I got up this morning, you sent me the videos, like this 15-minute video. And I'm like, oh, I got to go take a 15-minute dump and just, I got to go take a 15-minute Trump press conference and watch this. But I definitely, in my head, I was like, no, I need to like maybe get my kids a snack and like see if my wife wants a coffee. And I'll do this later because I have been an absentee father. So I haven't heard any of the jokes. I'm very excited. And I didn't go to the show because I was fishing with my dad and brother. But how did it go?
It went really well.
Yeah.
So I was closing out the show, and I always joke with Jeff. I'm like, he's like, okay, everybody, 7 minutes. Like he's trying to crack down on that time a little more. So he's like, 7 minutes, everybody. And they did flash a few people with the light, but I was like, I'm going last. I'm probably going to run the time.
Don't flash me.
Yeah. I was like, I just told him, I was like, I'm going to run the time.
Or if you flash me, dicks only, please.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. He's like, I'll pull you off stage if it starts getting a little long in the tooth and unfunny. And
we're doing that now?
and then I was like, okay, yeah. And looked back at it and I was like, oh, fuck, I went more than doubled the time.
It, yeah.
And I was like, but also like, I'm getting to the point now where like I used to be more humble about it. And now I am like, I'm getting this weird level of confidence where I'm like, I am the funniest person in the room.
It's the steroids.
Yeah, maybe.
It's the comedy steroids.
I think it's also just like getting better at comedy and like having more confidence. But I do go up now and I'm like, oh, I'm the funniest person here and I'm going to take as much fucking time as I want. I'm a headliner. Right?
Yeah.
Which is such a ridiculous like flip on like how humble I was like even 6 months ago.
I think you need that. I mean, that's good. I think that's positive, right?
Yeah.
Confidence in comedy goes a long way. And there have been, just a quick aside, because we go to these shows. There was a guy at the last Looney Bin. His material was good. I would actually say compared to a lot of the acts, you could tell that he was a student of comedy and that he'd spent time crafting some great material. Where he fell flat was the delivery, the confidence. He couldn't get up there. He couldn't command the crowd. His timing was awkward. And I said to him after, I was like, dude, fucking good jokes. Great set. And he's like, oh, thanks, man. I really needed that. And I was like, yeah. Like, keep doing it. But in my mind, I'm like, this guy needs a little je ne sais quoi, like he needs to get up there and be like, no, these jokes are funny. They are good. You're going to listen. And you can smell it on people when they come up, and it's the opposite of that. So I think your confidence is not misplaced because your jokes are funny, but I also think it's a benefit to maybe kind of have a bit of that cockiness.
Yeah.
Like you went, I keep stopping you from answering the question I asked. I do want to hear about it. But I know that you went to the BPI Christmas party in Vancouver and dipped to do a set out there, and all of the husbands
my
and
wife's
wives
colleagues, and spouses followed.
and they like raved, and it was like nuts of steel for you to just be like, oh, all these people I don't know that are my wife's fucking coworkers, like come and watch my comedy set in a different province, in a different city with a crowd I don't know. And like, you're not doing that a year ago.
No, probably not.
Right? And it went well.
Yeah, Vancouver went really well. I did the Hitler killing himself joke.
Love it. Dude, when you did that joke, because I was at that show and it didn't go off in my mind, and I think I said to you, I was like, that was the crowd. That was the night that it went off the rails.
Yeah, that was the night it went off the rails.
So I wasn't there.
But you watched the video. I remember, and you were like, oh, like the crowd just like was off. And
Yeah,
I was like,
that was a hit joke. It was a hit joke. So to hear that you did it and it
killed. Because I that was my third time doing it. And I was honestly like, if it doesn't work this time, I might never do this joke again.
Yeah.
Because and it was kind of the venue and the crowd and the vibes the first two times I did it that it didn't really hit. And then I did it in Vancouver, and like it got some good laughs. And then Alicia's like boss's boss like had this delayed, like she almost like realized. And that's why I love that joke, is because like obviously, well, the joke is, you know, I love World War II documentaries, even though I know what happens at the end all the time. And I was like, spoiler alert, Hitler kills himself, even though he never once mentions being sad.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's
Men's mental health.
but it's also like, obviously he didn't kill himself because he was depressed. He killed himself to avoid accountability for like the heinous crimes that he committed. But it's like, so it's kind of like oh yeah, Hitler kills himself, haha.
It's like a double entendre.
Yeah, but not. We're still looking for one of them.
Damn it.
But it's like, you know, then it's like, oh no, he actually killed himself for like a completely different reason. I'm just totally misunderstanding. Like I'm assuming the only reason you could ever kill yourself is
What's
because
the line?
you're
They never
sad.
mentioned him in all those documentaries. They never mentioned Hitler being sad.
Yeah. So, you know, I did that, and then I did, you know, it was also sad that he killed his dog, because we were robbed of the opportunity to see a dog at the Nuremberg trials.
Yeah.
And that got a good laugh too. And so anyway, it felt really good. But yeah, Alicia's boss's boss had this like delayed reaction. Like she laughed, and then she like kind of realized the actual like humor behind the humor.
Slow burn.
And then started laughing so loud, and she was like the only one still laughing. And I was like, thank you. Like, that's awesome. I love that. But anyway, so that one was great. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make that a part of my repertoire. Because Laugh Shop is doing a comedy competition, and the winner gets like $1,000 and a trip to Winnipeg to perform at their club in Winnipeg.
Shut up.
And so I did sign up for that. So I might do that set for my
When is that?
competition. I haven't-
Plug.
It's going to be throughout March. So they're doing like heats, and like 2 people from each week are going to move on to the finals. So I don't know my date yet, but we will certainly update when we get that. But I think
Stay
that's the
tuned
set.
for more info on that.
I think
That's a
that's the
hit.
set that I want to do for that one, because I feel like it's good.
We likey.
Yeah. But yeah, and then last night I did 15 minutes, and the beginning was like totally, I mean, it wasn't improv, but I went back to the Squirtopia mattress pad.
Ooh.
Because the
throwback.
couple, there's a couple on a couch like right up front, like a splash zone. And, you know, they were snuggling, looking all cute and stuff. And so that's what I said. And I said, you got Valentine's Day plans, blah, blah, blah. And then I went into this, like, I wanted to give my wife a massage. And then I got all these ads for mattress pads. And that one always gets a laugh because, you know, squirting is funny. And then
It's
I
just
went
pee.
into... Allegedly. Never witnessed it personally. That is a part of the joke, too. But then I go into this new bit I wrote about shit that happened on the plane to Vancouver. And actually I totally forgot how I wanted to finish that bit. And so I just moved right on. And I was like, oh, fuck, I missed like this funny thing that I wanted to talk about. And one of the stories didn't even happen to me, but it actually happened to Alicia's boss's wife on the way out. There's like a lady eating a hard-boiled egg in the same aisle as her. And she's like, what are you doing eating hard-boiled eggs on the plane? Like, why are you bringing these with you? But anyway. And then I went into this bit about, what was my next bit? Oh, it was about how I'm trying to take care of my body, eat better, work out better. And I was like, and I started going to therapy, and they asked me about my dad. And I told this story about my dad not yelling at me on 9/11. And like, that was my memory of 9/11, was my dad yelling at me at bedtime because I was like, Dad, I'm scared. And he's like, you think they're going to fucking crash a plane into our piece of shit house? Like, explaining to my therapist, I was like, my dad could have been nicer to me on 9/11. And
I don't know that story. I gotta watch this.
Oh yeah, you
set.
gotta. And it's definitely massaged up. My dad did not actually like scream at me on 9/11, but that story kind of did happen. And my dad was like visibly annoyed that I was like worried that we were the next target of Al Qaeda, like in our rural Alberta home. And then I went into a bit about the new Epstein files with Elon Musk and how he got like uninvited because he's so lame. And then finished with a ice bit.
Ooh, we're gonna immediately watch this after we record.
It was a great set. It was it was very long. Everybody was making fun of me afterwards. They're like, you said you were gonna go over time, and you went 110% over time. Like,
How was the gang? Everyone have some good jokes. Good
yeah,
crowd?
actually, it was a really good show. Danny came out to watch last night, and he said that he was like, man, like everybody's coming up with some heat tonight. Like, Everybody's got some really good jokes.
Good crowd, good numbers.
Oh, like the place was packed.
What?
When Dan got there, it was standing room only, and then a couple people left, and so we took their table.
Oh,
But,
we love that. We love to
yeah,
hear that.
and then that's awesome. That's what it's all about, right? If Hubtown is filling that place and selling lots of beer, we will keep getting to do comedy and having a great time at Hubtown. So, it was a packed house, and crowd was great. Like everybody was laughing. Comedians were great. Kept people laughing all night. There was no anybody taking it off the rails or anything. Which I think a lot of that is, Jeff kind of laying down the rules a little bit and saying like, hey, let's avoid the like blatant homophobia, misogyny, racism. Like, let's.
Did he? Thank goodness. Yes. That needed to happen.
Yeah, I think for sure. I think people were getting a little too fast and loose, and like there is still room to toe the line for sure. I did that with my ice joke, as you will see. But it's like you don't just go up there and be like dropping C-bombs and like slurs. Like it's like let's be funny and figure out where that line is and be mindful of that. Be mindful
good.
that we're in a local business in rural Alberta.
Yeah, I'm glad because we talked about it on the show. Just like, not like it was a dark day, but it got to the point where it's like, whoa. Let's write some jokes that can stand on their own. Let's just not go up there and fucking say hate speech.
Yeah.
And hope
and
that,
shock value.
And shock value and hope that someone appreciates that. Like we can all say those things.
Yeah.
It's like the kid who learns that they can swear,
Yeah.
and they're just like I'm gonna say it all the time until someone reacts. So like
This is not Xbox Live in 2009.
2020.
This is not Xbox Live Geese.
Get out of my head. I was telling someone that story the other day about what happened, and how it's a hard one to tell on the podcast. We were playing Halo, and one of our friends said something that was a little like, whoa, hey, like we're those guys. We're the ones that say that stuff, but we do it funny. And when you just said it, it made me like I shrunk up a bit.
We were uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable what you just said. And in particular, Geese was very uncomfortable. He was, he's the guy. He's an empath, right?
Oh yeah,
and he's got his,
and he's got a good set of like morals and ethics about him. I would say
he's a good guy.
Yeah,
and he often I wouldn't say he checks people, but he lots of times something will get said about someone or something will get said about something, and he would be like, "Hey, that's too far."
Yeah.
In his own way.
He's not going to let it slide.
He'll be like, too far. That was a bit too much. Too much. But we had this occur online, and he was, like I said, the guy that was like, that's not okay. And we just immediately, like lightning quick, I was proud of us. We just decided that what we would do moving forward is that we would say that he was the one that said it. and everyone just got it. It was actually like miraculous. We knew the play. Everyone else knew the play. Yeah, Buddy said this, shouldn't have said that. But when we retell this story and when we talk about it 2 seconds from now, the story is that you, Josh, the nice guy, the empath,
The person that called it out,
the good social conscience, you're the one that said it, and that's the story we're going to tell everyone, and we're just going to make it a thing. And now it is a thing, and it's like we throw it back to, hey, remember when Josh said this? And it's like it's so silly. It's so silly because he's like, guys, no, stop, don't. I didn't. That wasn't me. And we're like, yeah, it was. You said that. You're this guy. It's just and it's so lowbrow, but in another way, it's like the most elite humor ever. We just changed the
totally
story.
Flipped it on
just flipped it. You're the guy who said that shit. Oh fuck! I wish I could tell that story with the language. But it won't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not at Hubtown Comedy Show a couple months ago. Jeff has laid down the law. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, this felt great.
It was a great episode. Lots of laughs. Very serious point in the middle.
Gotta have those. Gotta talk about the real things.
But I think we're finishing on a high note with lots of... My cheeks hurt from the Geese story.
Let's wait for more info on this Laugh Shop competition because we need to get We need to get the team out.
Yeah.
There's a call to action for sure.
There will be an element, from what I understand, there's an element of audience voting as well as judges.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, fuck judges. Oh, I hope they get the fucking chili contest judges to do it. I really liked your set. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to it.
I don't like the tortillas you put in there. It's like that's part of it. It's like, oh, I took out the tortillas, but I love the bread bowls down the street. And it's like, fuck you.
I don't know if I ever told you, they emailed me because we didn't do the contest this year because of many reasons, mostly me. Huge undertaking, very expensive, lots of time.
I think you were out of town too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But they did email and they're like, and the language they use are like, do you want to defend your championship? And I was like, so even you know, we weren't just fan choice. We were the only choice.
Yeah.
You know, fuck you guys. And if I ever see those fucking judges again,
I'll choke them with my bare
I'll
hands.
choke them to death. Death threats. So hopefully those are the judges. But if there's an audience thing, if there's an audience element, we got to get the team out. We got to support Dex. And that's a really cool opportunity. So excited to share more with that to you guys, to the nation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little Jim Rome. I realized I ripped that, and I was like, Rad Dad Nation. I'm like, that's a Jim Rome, stupid. Ah, damn it.
Yeah. I feel like that's a niche reference, though.
Okay. Do people not listen to Jim Rome?
Uh,
Does he even do shit anymore?
He does, because I feel like he has a syndicated show still on Fan 960.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, because I also haven't listened to Fan 960 in forever.
There you go. Yeah. Radio's dead.
Yeah, especially sports radio, especially when they like fire all of the local like Fan 960 exists to basically cover the Flames.
Yep.
And then they got rid of like the local morning show, and it's like out of Edmonton, and it's very Oilers heavy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a benefit.
Well, I mean, if you're an Oilers fan in Calgary, that's awesome. But also if you're like, I'd like to hear my local sports radio station talk about my local sports team, and it's like, that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard they're potentially going to lose the radio broadcast license, or they're not going to renew it. And then I was like, okay, so if you don't have Flames games, then like this is just a syndicated Edmonton radio station. Like you might as well just close the doors.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry, Fan 960.
Sorry, Fan. Rip, play that Fan 960 in memoriam.
Yeah, instead of the double entendre one.
No, I think I was reflecting on the podcast. I know we're like, we're going to end it. And we do this all the time. We got to give the fans what they want. And that puts a big amount of work on you because you're the editor, you're the producer. But when I'm thinking about fan service, given the Rad Dad Nation, all 62 of you, what you want, we need the edits. So I almost think we take the time because we've been doing this definitely less frequently. We still love it, but we got to do the audio edits. So I'm gonna put the call to action to get everyone out to your show. But I'm gonna put the call to action. I want to hear the. I hope this is I'm in my truck right now and I've already listened to it. I'm explaining to myself how much I enjoyed your double entendre media and your fucking AI generated in memoriam to Fan 960. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dex.
And maybe also, I need to try and clip the Donald Trump fart.
Oh, please.
I need to get that video and try and clip it because it's
in post. Oh my God.
He doo-doos his pants.
Yeah, and make sure it's a fake noise that you.
Yeah, just punch it up like real version. Oh, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing real version and then Rad Dad version. The Rad Dad versions could be like blatantly audible, like full on group diarrhea.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I'm ready.
It's time for a Rad Dad Redemption presidential shard investigation.
Hi, everybody. It's Dex here with the Rad Dad Redemption podcast. As discussed earlier in the episode, Donald Trump shit his pants on camera. And I really wanted to dive a little deeper into this and really bring to you the hard-hitting news that you look for when you tune into the Rad Dad Redemption podcast. So what I'm going to do for you now is play a totally unedited clip of the shart heard around the world, and then we're gonna dive in a little deeper and maybe unpack this look into what actually happened to see if we can grab that audio and investigate a little deeper into what happened deep inside the pants of Donald Trump. So take a listen to the original audio recorded by Forbes during this press conference.
And we're working with the DOJ on addressing that because chemists are coming up with new opioids faster than the government has been able to keep up. We're going proactive on these new chemicals.
That's great. No, I hear fantastic things.
Now, you may have missed that. It was subtle, and obviously somebody was talking over it, but I'm going to try and isolate the moment where the fart is heard. So we're going to get into a little bit of editing here. I'm not going to change the volumes or anything. I'm really just going to try and capture that moment where you can hear the shart. And if you turn up the volume, you might be able to hear it a little better. But if not, give me a second, okay? But here is exactly where the shart is heard. And you can see actually in the reaction of the lady specifically behind him, she's wearing a green blazer. Her face, she kind of immediately hears it and sort of turns to him in shock. But here's the shart.
Faster than the government has been able to keep up.
So there's the shart. There's the specific moment that the shart occurs. And I know you can't see the video, but again, there is some reaction when the shart occurs. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that same clip. I'm just going to increase the volume. So if you turned up your speakers or your headphones or whatever, you may want to turn them back down now, unless you want an earful of Donald Trump pooping his pants, in which case leave your volume where it currently is.
Faster than the government has been able to keep up.
Did you hear that? That is the unmistakable sound of a shart occurring just outside of immediate microphone range. Now I'm going to enhance the audio even further. Let's enhance that one more time and slow down the progression of the fart to really enhance exactly what happened here during this press conference. One more enhancement, I promise, then we're done. And there you have it, unmistakable proof that President Donald Trump shit his pants. And thank you for joining us for this very important Rad Dad shart investigation. I hope to see you next time, if it happens again.
Okay, stay tuned for our Valentine's Day special, which we're definitely going to do and not going to forget.
Yeah.
Bye.